watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Basement Politics with Freddie Vasquez. This is another edition of Fred Talk, Episode 2. Tonight, we'll be discussing affordable housing. Let's get right in. Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching. What is the Yonkers Affordable Housing Ordinance? Well, I have some of the answers right here on my notes. The Yonkers Housing Ordinance, Affordable Housing Ordinance, And you may see this in articles, news articles, and they may abbreviate it or use the acronym AHO. So if you see this and you're reading about affordable housing or something in the news and you see AHO, basically Affordable Housing Ordinance, that's what that means. And basically what the Affordable Housing Ordinance says is that all newly constructed or substantially rehab or refabricated multifamily housing in Yonkers will be required to include affordable housing units, whether rental or for sale. That will be affordable to household earning between 30% to 100% of the Westchester County area median income, or AMI. Didn't know what that was. I had to learn that. It's AMI. Well, now I know. Area median income. So basically what they do is they base, I guess, the percentage of that they believe should be for affordable housing on the median income of Westchester County, of the residents of Westchester County as a whole, right? But the problem here, and this is a problem that's been brought up by Shanae Williams, Mike Cater, and Tasha Diaz. Westchester County is one of the richest counties in the country, not just in the state. It's one of the richest counties in the country. I mean, it's right there with the Orange County in California. Maybe you've seen that show. One of the richest counties. I mean, so it's a weird, a place that Yonkers is kind of finds itself in. Yonkers, being the fourth largest city in the state, is also probably one of the, has one of the largest population of, low income communities, right? Many of the the population here are earning or are living at or below the poverty line. Yet Yonkers is surrounded by some of the richest towns and cities, I guess, or villages in Westchester, in the state, and even in the country. I mean, I live on the border of Scarsdale, Bronxville. I mean, you can literally stand in Scarsdale and Yonkers. You can literally stand in Bronxville and Yonkers, 1 foot in, 1 foot, on the other. You have Tuckahoe. You have Dobbs Ferry. You have Hastings. And these are extremely expensive places to live. I mean, it's hard to get into these towns. Unless you're making $1 million plus a year, your household income, it's going to be tough. With the taxes in these towns being ridiculously high, it's just not feasible for most people. So obviously the people that are living in in these communities around surrounding Yonkers are wealthy people. They have the money. So they're included, right? So when they're averaging the median income in order to come up with their rates at which affordable housing units should be included in new developments or substantially rehab multifamily houses or developments, whatever, they basing it on Westchester County median income, which includes Scarsdale, Hastings, Dobbs Ferry, Tuckahoe, Bronxville, Larchmont. I mean, White Plains. I may have missed one or two, but you get the point, right? Maybe we should consider that, and maybe Yonkers should go with its own medium income area, medium income, right? And this is what Tasha Diaz and Mike Cater, Mike Cater, and Tasha Diaz are proposing. Why do we use a Westchester County area medium income when it doesn't make sense, right? It just doesn't make sense. And it makes more sense to use a Yonkers medium income. However, the argument is that that's what developers use. That's also what financial institutions use. So who's more important? Who do we care about more? The developers and the financial institutions, which, by the way, are the biggest crooks. Just my opinion, right? Or do we care about the residents? And I get it. It's not an easy balance. I'm not going to sit here and say it's that simple. I'm not going to say that. It's a tough process. It's a tough thing to figure out. And I'm just glad I'm not the politician. But I am here to talk about it. And let's see, what can we come up? And there is some kind of compromise, right? I believe Corazon Pineda, councilwoman for District 2, indicated that she would be willing to support an increase of from 10% to 15%. And according to some news, local news outlets, it looks like that's something that Mike Spano, the mayor, may approve. He's telling them to figure it out. But he's not totally supporting a 20% increase by another 10% to 20%. But he may support a 15% increase. I guess 15% is better than keeping it at 10, right? It's a compromise. It's like a marriage. Got to compromise. Otherwise, you'll be fighting all the time. Still trying to get my wife to learn that. Compromise. So anyway, affordable housing ordinance also requires that affordable housing be made in a variety or come in a variety of shapes, sizes, types, right? So they just don't want to build a bunch of projects, basically, right? Let's not just make these big, huge buildings that have 20 floors, 20 apartments on each floor, surrounded by some metal gate, one way in, one way out, right? Let's do something different. We got to feel good about ourselves, right? And having an environment that we can feel proud of, that we can look around and say, it's beautiful. Wow, we live here. That does something to you. I think psychologically it does. Right? The affordable housing ordinance also, and this is very important, also promotes affordable housing in a dispersed manner. Well, that's the big battle that Yonkers went through in the 80s, right? With the segregation or desegregation, integrating the schools, spreading out the affordable housing where they were once concentrated primarily if not solely, on the south side, southwest side. And that created pretty much a side that was just not desirable for many, many years. If I only had the right foresight, right? If I could only go back into time now, I bet we all say that. Well, I lived on Buena Vista. I grew up there. That place is a gold mine. Wasn't when I was growing up. It was more like a landmine. Be careful what you step. Might get blown up, you know? And the Affordable Housing Ordinance also provides measures to ensure that they remain affordable housing for a substantial period of time. All right, we don't want the developers coming in. Yeah, we're going to give you affordable housing. We're going to do this, that, and the third. Give us the tax breaks and everything else. Let's make the money real quick. And then boom, 2 years later, they all go market rate. What is considered affordable housing nowadays? How much? How much would the rent be on a unit that would be really truly affordable housing? I mean, is it really affordable even at the price that they rent them out or even sell them, right? Because affordable housing ordinance is not just limited to rental units. It's also, requires that for sale units as well. So we're talking co-ops, which we haven't really seen much here in the city. Well, any new developments of co-ops anyway go up, right? But there's also a stipulation or a provision, or however you want to call it, legal terminology, in the ordinance. It's called the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. And basically what it does is it allows for the developers to put money into a fund. All right. They put money into a fund and they're given the option to do this instead of meeting the required number of affordable housing units in their development. So instead, they put money into an affordable housing trust fund so that that money could then be used to develop affordable housing at another time, or maybe at the same time, but just at another location. Well, where's the locations going to be? The thing that scares me about that is, will they concentrate these affordable housing developments to a specific area of Yonkers? And will we get back to the way it was in the 80s? I mean, it's a valid question, right? Got to be sure that that doesn't happen. And I think the best way to ensure that is just to have a mixed development with affordable housing and market rate units, affordable housing units and market rate units. I think that just it's a better deal just for humans as a whole. I mean, just in general, right? I credit a lot of who I am today, of course, with how I was raised, definitely, but also the experiences that I had outside of Yonkers that showed me something different. I got to meet different people. I got to experience different things. And those experiences were very beneficial to me. I got to see kids who had a little bit more than me. And that inspired me even more. But it also provided guidance. In a strange way, it provided guidance when I didn't have any, right? So I can see my buddies who had a different life than I did, grew up differently. Parents were, at a different financial level, and I learned a lot. And I think that we shouldn't segregate people based on their economic background because that's basically what we're doing. You create separate affordable housing units from those of the market rate developments, you're segregating people based on class. In a sense, that's what you're doing. What about the network opportunities, right? Some of these developments are going to have business centers. How great would that be for people to connect from different backgrounds, different economic backgrounds? You never know who you might meet. I'm all about networking. I'm all about talking to strangers, and you never know. We can do business. Maybe I can learn something. Maybe you can learn something. I don't know. But I think it's a great opportunity that would be sorely missed if they develop separate affordable housing developments to avoid meeting the required affordable housing units in the developments that they're currently constructing. And this all stems from, obviously it's a lot of developments going on, but a lot of this stems from the Ludlow development. Got a little flack today. I did. I got a little flack today about a post I put up. I don't know if I was necessarily attacking this person. Maybe. I didn't think so. It wasn't personal. I was just putting it out there. I thought it was important. It kept coming up. But it was about the Ludlow development and a certain councilman's push for the developments. Although I have read, I got to be fair to the guy. I can recognize when I may not be fair or when I may be wrong. And am I saying I'm wrong? No, I'm just saying that I'm willing to look at the possibility. I am. So I go in and do my homework. So to give credit, the gentleman, Councilman John Rubo, wants the developments to go on. He wants them to go ahead and let's move forward. He's excited about the economic development heading south from the waterfront. And I get it. It's great. It's going to bring in money. It's going to bring in business, especially if you have a business in that area. So I get it. I absolutely get it. But what we must not do is ignore those that have been here all their lives and those that cannot afford to live in a $3,000 a month, one bedroom, or $3,000 a month loft. That's crazy to me. But hey, what do I know? But again, to the credit from what I've read to Councilman Rubo, he's willing to speak with the developers regarding increasing the percentage of affordable housing units from 10, where it's currently being required by the ordinance, although there has been some proposed changes introduced by Shanae Williams. Mike Cater supports it and Tasha Diaz supports it. They know what the people want and need. Well, certain people anyway, right? Because really it's what this is all about almost. It's about two groups of people. We have the affordable housing group and we have the market rate group. The problem is that a lot of the market rate group people, I guess, that are becoming in to live in these developments are not necessarily going to be from the city of Yonkers. And if you've gone on any of these Facebook pages, Yonkers Moms or whatever that has to do with families and community here in Yonkers, you'll see there are a lot of people posting questions from Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn. What schools are the best? What area of Yonkers should we move to? I recommend that they all consider the south side, southwest side. It's the newest part of the Yonkers now, right? You wouldn't have recommended that maybe 5, 10 years ago. Come live by the water. It's beautiful. Right? But they're coming from outside of Yonkers, which is great. I'm not against New York City people. You can tell they're from New York City. You see them walking all around. You see them walking in places that you normally wouldn't see that person who looks like that walking. Right? That person must be from the city. They lost. It's funny. But yeah, so I mean, we have to strongly consider the residents here. The fact that Yonkers has a large population of underserved people, disenfranchised, often ignored, and it just can't continue to happen. But I understand. I'm a business person, right? I get it. But all I'm saying is that I want to see a real desire to help the people. Not I'm willing to negotiate, but we got to keep pushing through. Basically, if they say no, okay, well, let's keep moving. Let's keep building. And that's just my issue. And I'm glad I got to speak actually today with Councilman John Rubo, and I'm hoping that he comes on the show. He has agreed, I think. So I look forward to that. I do, and I'm not attacking the John. I'm not attacking. This is not personal. So I don't want it to come off that way. That's the last thing I want. It truly is. It takes away from my message, I think. And the last thing I want is to have enemies. I'd rather have people we can collaborate with. I think that works better for all. But anyway, let's talk about this Ludlow project. The Ludlow Point project. I actually thought this was by the AMS guy, so I was wrong. Maybe it is. I don't know. But from what I'm seeing here, the Ludlow Point, it's a $199.7 million project located at 150 Downing. It will have 520 residential units. And it will be the 520 units. This is how they're going to divide them up. They're going to develop 2 10-story buildings and 2 11-story buildings. That's still pretty high. Not as high in the building I lived on Riverdale once, but it's pretty high. So a total of 4 buildings that are going to be right along the water there, or the railroad tracks. What about the views? There are people that have enjoyed the views of the Hudson River and the Palisades forever. Doesn't seem like they may have them anymore. Some of them, anyway, will not have those same views. A lot of the views are getting obstructed by these developments. I think that's another complaint. So, really, I mean, again, it goes to the question, who are the developments for? And again, I'm not against them. We got to revitalize Yonkers, I guess, right? But how do we revitalize it? By putting up a bunch of developments. And by the way, I mean, I need to know. I would like to know. What are they going to do about the traffic? You build this big development over there, the Ludlow area. I mean, that's going to be one crowded place. I'll tell you that much. I'm assuming everybody's going to take the train. Maybe they can pull up their boats. Got to cross the tracks first. Well, anyway, so the 520 residential units in the 4 buildings that they will build will consist of 80 studios, 321 bedrooms, 120 2-bedrooms, So I guess no 3 bedrooms. They don't want families. Get out of here. And actually, it's quite interesting. And I'll tell you really quick. I'm going to go through the amenities. They're gonna have a club lounge, fitness center, swimming pool. Yeah, yeah. You mean not gonna bring up the old trailer to the end of Buena Vista there by Sunset Park? Was it O'Boyle Park? We go swimming in that thing. Remember that? Anyone remember the trailer? They would tank that they would bring, fill it up with the hose, with the fire hydrant, I should say, water, and thing was freezing, but we didn't care. We got to go swimming. It was fun. Lots of fun. Nah, we're gonna have swimming pools now in the buildings. So you can have a club lounge, fitness center, swimming pool, a business center. And that's what I'm saying. It's an opportunity for people to meet and network. Maybe people can grow their income, right? Meet some guy from Wall Street or something. I don't know, some investment bank, maybe some executive. I don't know. Start to chat it up. Say, hey, I want a new career. Hey, come on in. Yeah, that's an opportunity. I'm always looking for one, right? Well, at least I was when I was trying to, improve my financial situation and growing my career. So I'm always just naturally talking and networking with people. You never know who you might meet. There's also going to be bike racks, I guess, because you won't be able to get out of here in a car. Tenant storage lockers. I don't know. This reminds me of an apartment complex I used to live when I was in Tallahassee, Florida. My wife was attending Florida State University at the time, and she had moved into an apartment complex called Campus Lodge. Shout out to Campus Lodge. I thought that was dope. That was my first actual experience of being out of my mom's house. So, and it was awesome. It had everything that I just listed here. It had a club lounge, fitness center, swimming pool, business center. I don't know about the bike. Actually, I think it might have had bike racks. They didn't have storage lockers though. We didn't have the lockers. Guys are one up in us there. No lockers. That looks like it to me. It sounds like, are we going to have a bunch of college kids, or I mean, young professionals, I guess? But I've seen some of the pictures of some of these developments, right, of the lounge area and all that stuff that they offer, the amenities as they call them. I mean, it just looks like a big party place. I wouldn't want to live in that building if I was. I don't know. I don't want to discourage anybody. Do you? It just seems like it would be a big party place. But that's what's going to be going up, right? Up in the low point. And that's just one of the developments, actually. There are others that are going to go up in that area. But I just wanted to mention that one because it's going to be a pretty nice sized project. I mean, and we're talking 4 buildings that are going to block the views. You better get yourself an apartment in one of these things if you want the view, right? If you can afford the $3,000-$4,000. Yeah. And the issue is that there's only a requirement of 10%. A requirement of affordable housing units at 10%. So a 520 residential unit building is only going to consist of 52 affordable housing units. Well, that's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough, according to a study done by Westchester County. Yeah. According to the study, there are about 1,400 overcrowded households in Yonkers. Almost 1,400 households that are deemed overcrowded by the county. Right? So we're adding 52 affordable housing units there. I guess helps out a little bit. So, I mean, and really, when you think about it, let's say we go to 20%. I guess it's better than the 52. It's double that. but it's really not much. I mean, it's 100, 104. It's a dent. I mean, we have 13, 1,400, and that's just the overcrowded households that they even probably were able to include in the report. Who knows? It could be more. And we have a bunch of homeless people. We got people dying in parking lots of ShopRite. So it's not just affordable housing units that we need. We need housing, period. All right. And according to that study, going back to the Westchester County Housing Need Assessment, is what it's called. Westchester County Housing Need Assessment. It states that every municipality in the county has a gap in affordability when looking at market rents. So, yeah, obviously, it's a huge gap. 49.9%, let's just call it 50% of residents in Yonkers, 50%. That's half. It's a laugh that I do when something's ridiculous. Like it's crazy. 50% of residents in Yonkers are living in severely cost burden and unaffordable housing. So 50% of people in Yonkers are living in housing that they could barely afford. They have to make it work by any means necessary. Anything can happen, and it's homeless, a homeless situation for them. That's crazy. I can only imagine what the children of these households must have to live with. And what does that do to them? How does that affect them? And I'm so glad that we're getting these social workers in the schools because we're going to need it. We're going to need it. You know, overcrowding in households, it's a huge problem. I mean, I grew up on Buena Vista before when the homeless gathered at the pier. And the prostitution was not by the food town in on Linden in the No Dine Hill section. They only came out at night by the post office. Now they come out during the day while you go grocery shopping. You know, and if we only knew, man, buy up some of those buildings back then, right? And I've seen it. I've seen it so many times. I've gone into people's homes, you know, friends when I was growing up, and even now when in my clients' properties, their tenants, you see overcrowded apartments. You see rooms with 2 and 3 beds. Sometimes it's not even a bed. Sometimes you go into the room and it's 2 air mattresses. And I've seen this more than once. I don't know. You know, this is something I don't think that just increasing the affordable housing units a requirement to 20% is going to really make a difference. I don't know. Maybe that's what John Rubel is talking about, right? But we have to do something. You know, John Rubel wants to have some idea of the economic impact that raising the requirement of 10% to 20% is going to have. I don't know. Somebody has to be in charge of conducting that study. But what about the impact that the lack of affordable housing is having now on the economy, on the local businesses? right? I don't know. I don't know. People say, hey, what district do you want to run for? First of all, I can't just pick any district. Secondly, I'm not going to run. I can't do this. Just too much. It's not an easy thing, and I don't have all the answers. But I think that in talking about the issues, it's how we find solutions. So we have to be careful and methodical in addressing the issues, and not just push through. But also, we must not stay stagnant. Right? Balance. My wife is a Libra. She tells me all about balance. You need balance. I think she thinks because she's a Libra, she's the most balanced person in the world. But I tell you what, I've met a lot of Libras, some unbalanced people. But yeah, it's a difficult uh, um, thing, a difficult task, a difficult dilemma to have to sort through. Yeah, and it's causing controversy, right? It's causing controversy among the candidates in the race, in the various races. Just very recently, candidate for city council president, Lakeisha Collins Bellamy, criticized Mike Cater for stagnating the development. We have to move forward. But what I don't understand, Mrs. Bellamy, I saw your interview that you did on News 12. And in that interview, you said that you were going to get 20% no matter what. I'm confused. I'm confused. That's what Mike Cater wants, isn't it? That's what Tasha Diaz wants. That's what Shanae Williams wants. But let's talk about Mike. That's who you're running against. So you're accusing him of stagnating or preventing the development from moving forward. But you're also promising 20%. And I can be, hey, listen, I can be wrong. I can be off in the way I understood it. And I would love for you to come on my show because I did email you. You told me to. I did. I sent it. Come on, let's talk. Let's talk. You know? But I agree. I agree with Lakeisha where she says that there is a need for public housing. Absolutely. People can't pay $3,000 a month. But it seems like the only developments that are going up are the $3,000 a month units. So I don't know. But she says that she would pass affordable housing ordinance that would raise the required percentage from 10 to 20. But how do you plan on doing that? And if you are going to be able to do that and you do have a plan, I'd love to hear it because I would agree with it. I know it's not much more, but every little bit helps. I don't know what the economic impact is going to be. To who? So I guess the argument also is that if this is changed to 20% or even anything over 10%, maybe, that it's going to deter developers from coming to Yonkers to develop. I mean, what is the big plus? Let's think about it. What's the big plus? What are the positives of the developments? Beautifying the city? Maybe. I mean, economic benefits, jobs. Well, there's an argument with labor, right? The labor unions are not getting a seat at the table. So who are getting the jobs? The Ludlow project is expected to create 600 new construction jobs. Cool. Where are the construction workers coming from? And once the development is done, that number is going to dwindle down to 14 permanent jobs. Better than 0 jobs. But are local residents, local contractors, local unions getting the jobs? Are they getting the work? Construction is a really funny business. Well, I respect Councilman Moranti. He supports the union. He wants to see them get a seat at the table, and he wants them to negotiate. He wants developers to negotiate more. We all do. I tell you what. Why don't they build homeless shelters? We'll keep it at 10%. Give us homeless shelters. What do you think? What do you think? Leave me a comment. Tell me. Because I hear this a lot. I hear about the homeless problem a lot, but I don't have to hear it because I see it. I see it. And it's affecting local businesses, it's affecting the community, and it's affecting the individual that's homeless, more importantly. And that's a human being. It's sad. It's very sad. I was coming, actually, I was going to the post office the other day. So I was waiting for parking. It gets crazy down there, you know. And I hate to park in the garage. I just don't want to have to walk. Lazy, right? But I'm waiting there, and there's two gentlemen sitting in front of the post office, obviously homeless. I've seen one of them before. He sits in front of the CVS down Prospect often. I've given him money before, but I've noticed that he's made he's developed relationships with certain members of the community. So as I'm sitting there, I see members of the community coming out of the post office and saying hi. I think his name was Chris. Hi, Chris. How you doing, baby? How you doing, sugar? There's one when lady would say, she's very sweet lady. You know, she took the time out of her day, and not just her. There was several women. I didn't see any guys. What's up, guys? Be more kind. But there were several women, and they came out. They knew the gentleman's name. They treated him like a human being. Although one of them was a little strange because she was kind of, you know, she knew them. She gave them attention, but then she was calling them lazy. She's telling them, get a job. Get a job. You got to get a job. It was like in a, you know, joking, teasing manner. You know, she said, I'm sorry, guys. I left my purse at home. And then I'm startled by a loud honk of the car behind me. And she turns around and goes, oh, that's my son. I got to go. But I mean, the homeless population are becoming a staple in the community. I mean, people know them by name now. I recognize them. I see them, you know, I don't want to say see them. It's not like, you know, I don't want to get offended. You know, you got to watch your words. I've been told that. No, but I see, you know, the various homeless individuals. And I see the same individuals now, and I recognize them. So, I mean, it's become a huge problem. And maybe we can get the developers to build some shelters, build some drug rehab programs. So maybe the young lady that was once a former student who's right there by the No Dine Hill section, just about every day. Actually, I haven't seen her this past week or the week before. Hopefully, she's not there anymore. But we have to do something. And I think the developers need to add more. They need to add more to the community besides just tall buildings that obstruct the view of the beautiful Palisades. But Lakeisha Bellamy, she's going after Cater about it, but she says she will pass the 20% affordable housing ordinance. I don't know. Maybe I'm not understanding that clearly. Is that what Mike wants? I don't know. Anyway, I want to go back to the Affordable Housing Trust really quick. So, again, the Affordable Housing Trust is a fund that's created to receive funds from developers required to provide affordable housing units that have been granted options of paying into affordable housing trust instead of developing required numbers of affordable housing units. So here's what gets a little tricky, and so what they're saying here now is 50% of the funds, right? 50% of the funds that are received by developers who choose not to, I guess, comply with the requirements in their developments and rather just say, hey, we'll give you the money. That's actually better for us in the long run. It's a long-term strategy for them. I get it. Right? Here you go. Go build this somewhere else. But 50% of the funds must go to affordable housing projects that are affordable to 30% to 49% of the Westchester County AMI. AMI, area medium income. So basically, 50% of the money that's put into this trust must go to affordable housing projects that will be affordable to people that fall within 30% or 40% of the Westchester County area medium income. That number that they come up with by grouping all the municipalities in Westchester County, which I don't know, like 80% of them are like wealthy, you know. Sucks for Mount Vernon, huh? And Yonkers. And by the way, the lack of affordable housing in Yonkers is causing some of the city residents to actually move out of Yonkers and into Mount Vernon, as well as New Rochelle. Just as something I needed to mention. So, we got to do something, but it's not easy. So, and by the way, again, I just want to name the developer building the Low Point. They're called Ginsburg Development Corp. Ginsburg Development Corp. For some reason, I thought it was AMS, but I don't know if they're developing something else because I know there are other developments going up there. But I know AMS did buy Chicken Island. Chicken Island. Does anybody know why it's called Chicken Island, by the way? I'm sure some of you know. Little fun fact, trivia. If you know, put it in the comments. So these developers, AMS, bought Chicken Island and also received some major tax exemptions. A lot of developers are receiving tax exemptions. And by the way, I want to mention also that something I've noticed. It seems like the Yonkers had like a fire sale, right? It seems like places that lots and areas of Yonkers that were just once emptied forever, all bought up, all being developed. Like a fire sale, man. So everything. I was like, wow. Sold it all off. Sold it all off. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think, guys? Should we move forward? Is 10% enough? Is 20% enough? I don't think so. But I get it. I don't think we can do more than 20%. I mean, if I have to at least look at it from the, perspective of the developers. But then again, it all depends who you support, right? The developers or the city of Yonkers, the residents of the city of Yonkers. Yeah. So, I mean, we have to do something. And I think that one of the things we really should look to negotiate with the developers is some kind of homeless shelter. I think that's important, just as important as affordable housing. Yeah, I get it. There's a lot of people that just don't make enough to afford market rate rent, but don't make enough. I mean, I should say, but make too much to get any assistance. And my mother and I always felt in that awkward like area, right? Going to college, I didn't get any assistance other than loans because they said my mom made too much. So, but she really didn't have the money to pay. So I took out loans. I fell victim to the predatory lending and the dream, the American dream. Yeah, but anyway, going back to Rubel, like I said, Rubel wants to move ahead. He's excited about the developments in Ludlow. It's moving south of the waterfront. It's bringing economic opportunities to Yonkers, bringing business. But like he said, we need to do an economic impact study. So we really don't know. Will it bring all that stuff? I mean, Yonkers has tried in the past to build newer housing. It just didn't sustain. You see some of them that were built years ago and they're run down now. Will the people who move up here scurry on back to the city after this whole pandemic thing is over, right? I mean, it's not like they're buying, mostly renting. It's not permanent. Will we be left with a bunch of empty units as everyone goes back to the city? Because honestly, right? I'd rather be in the city if I work in the city. I mean, it's not a long ride, but I remember working in Wall Street. I hated it. I hated the Metro North, the subway. It cost so much. So will the people stay? I mean, we're building. Well, not we. I'm not building anything. Can I get in on that? We're building these I said we again. They're building these developments for mostly people coming out of the city. So my concern is, will they go back? I mean, we seem to have ideas and sound great in the beginning, but they end up failing. The example, Empire Casino. Whatever happened to all the money that was going to bring in for the schools? That place is packed every day. Lakeisha Collins Bellamy says that the new Lionsgate studio that they're bringing in there by the downtown, by the library, it's great. It's great for business. It's great. It's going to improve things. But is it? She says it's going to bring much needed resources and revenue to the city. But I thought the Empire Casino was going to do that. What ended up happening there? I don't know. Gotta go back to my research. Doesn't seem like it panned out from what I remember. Not at least the way I thought it was. So, yeah. I mean, we have so many, you know, issues that I think we need to address. And yes, affordable housing is one of them. But who are we making the affordable housing for? For the longtime residents of Yonkers who need the affordable housing? Or for the Manhattanites who want to escape the pandemic and find cheaper rent not too far north? It's almost affordable housing for them, right? What's the rent of in Manhattan? Well, it's probably dropped by now. That's what I'm saying. I mean, as people leave, obviously the demand dies down, price drops also. Supply and demand. So will now the city become cheaper than Yonkers, at least in the rental market? And then people say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go back. I'll save a few $100 a month on rent anyway, and the extra money I pay on the Metro North. Are these things being factored in also? I'd hate for a bunch of stuff to go up and then in 5 years, 10 years from now, it's just a bunch of half vacant developments. We got to think about the economy and the jobs. We're looking at a recession. Some people say it's going to be a big crash. Are you ready? I am. Not necessarily with money. I'm talking about food. Got food. And hopefully they won't take our guns and ammo for the great crash, right? Everybody's going crazy. But yeah, I mean, all jokes aside, I mean, we're looking at economic hardship approaching. How is that going to impact these developments? Are we going to have construction sites sitting there if this happens this year or in the beginning of next year? I don't know. Just something we have to talk about. So I wanted to talk a little bit about affordable housing because it's a hot button issue. And also because I got to speak to John Rubo today. Lorraine, shout out to Lorraine Lopez. Almost got beat up. I'm not a fighter, man. I'm a lover. No, shout out to Lorraine. We talked it out. I think it's a misunderstanding. I'm not attacking anyone. I just put it out there. It's already out there. What I say has already been said. I'm just analyzing and assessing it and actually provoking conversation. Right? Maybe had I not posted that, I might have not had spoken to John on the phone. And I'm glad I did. Hopefully he'll join me. June 17th. Thursday, live at 8. John Rubo. I look forward to it. John always has a smile on his face, right? So he's good. Seems like a nice guy. Let's do it, John. Let's talk about it. Come on. Get it off your chest. Just kidding. Joking. No, I look forward to it. I do. And, you know, John's an interesting guy. Business guy. He's got a lot to say. Smart guy. I hear he's a smart guy. And I like smart people. I respect smart people. I do. I have a lot of respect for people who are smart. Regardless if they do for the community or for their own pockets. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No. Just kidding. No, but all jokes aside again. John's a smart guy, as from what I hear. And he looks like one. And I would imagine, based on things he's done. Oh, going back to the antitrust, I kind of forgot. Yes. So like I was saying, 50% of the money that's put into the antitrust. I'm sorry, affordable housing trust fund. 50%, like I said, must go to affordable housing that will be affordable to those that are within the 30% to 49% of the Westchester County AMI, area medium income. So, and now the rest of the money, you still got another 50% left. The remaining 10%, I'm sorry, 50%, is to be allocated as follows. 10% will be applied to senior housing, with the remaining 40% to be allocated as those in charge of allocating the funds see fit. Not sure who that'd be. Maybe the council. But it does not dictate in the Affordable Housing Trust Fund how the money is to be allocated. So that's kind of up to those that are in charge of doing so. But it just can't be used however they want. The remaining must be used towards the purpose of affordable housing, of the Affordable Housing Ordinance. So that rest of 40% can go to the purpose of Affordable Housing Ordinance, right? But the Affordable Housing Ordinance itself does not dictate the way the 40% is allocated. So 10% of the money that developers would put into this trust fund for affordable housing would be applied to senior housing. Only 10%? Only 10%. And you have a remaining 40% that's to be allocated as those who are in charge of it see fit. And it goes towards the purpose of the AHO, Affordable Housing Ordinance, whatever that means. That's too general. Why don't we just add another 10% at least to the senior housing? And the other 20%, right? Big business, right? Keep 20%. The other 20% could you keep there in the account and use it towards the AHO, however you deem it's needed. But I think 10% for seniors is low. That's definitely low. I think some would appreciate that. But I just want to go through that. I forgot to mention the other 50%. So I wanted to just acknowledge that. So again, 50% of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund money is to go to affordable housing that is built and made affordable to those that fall into the 30 to 49% of the Westchester County AMI. And I don't know what that number is actually, and I should have gotten that, but yeah. And then 10% goes to senior housing, and the other 40% going towards the purpose of the Affordable Housing Ordinance, whatever that means. Maybe building more housing. I don't know. So yeah. So I mean, that's not all of the affordable housing ordinance. It's not every single detail, but I think I covered the big topic, the big issue, right? The debate that's been going on, the 10% versus 20%. Right. So you have Mike Cater, you have Shanae Williams, and you have Tasha Diaz. Right. They are all for 20%. Then you have John Rubo, who's willing to negotiate or sit with the developers, but doesn't want this to delay the process. The mayor does not support 20%, but he does support more negotiations. He's even recommended that a study be done. You guys can't figure it out? Let's have a study. See what will work best for the city. I believe John is in agreement with that. However, and this was actually mentioned back in November of 2020, right? So this suggestion by the mayor to do a study. Is expected from November of last year, was expected to take 3 to 4 months. Maybe I'll ask John how that study went when it comes on the show. Corazon Pineda has indicated that she would be willing to agree to a 15% affordable housing units, a change from 5%. I guess it's better than 10. That's something I hear the mayor would support. Yeah. So let's see. Let's see what happens. That's the big debate there when it comes to the affordable housing ordinance that's been proposed there now by, like I said, Mike Cater, Councilman Mike Cater, Council President, and Councilwoman Tasha Diaz, and Councilwoman Shanae Williams. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But it's definitely something that's being used also to target other candidates, to sling mud. I was accused of slinging mud. I don't know if I was. Maybe I was just sharing. But I don't think we should be slinging mud. I think we need to focus on the issue. This is what we need to focus on, right? We need to focus on the issue. What is affordable housing ordinance? What is the debate in detail? Who wants what? Who doesn't want what? Why does this person want that? Why does this other person not want that? It needs to all be explained more thoroughly. Or does it not matter if we know? Does it matter? Who cares? So that's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to do. So there you have it. Affordable housing, 10% versus the 20% issue. It's something that Lakeisha Collins-Bellamy, candidate for city council president, has used to target her opponent, incumbent Mike Cater. Although she says that she's going to get the 20% passed. I'm too confused. Maybe when she answers my email, we can talk about it. I don't know. And there's other things going on, but I'd rather not bring it up. We'll mention it actually on Thursday of next week, June 17th, hopefully, if I can confirm John Rubo. And we'll go discuss it then. So I won't get into it now. But there you have it. Affordable housing ordinance, as it stands now, requires only 10% of the units developed, brand new construction, or substantially rehabilitated rehab properties, requires them to have 10% of the units made affordable. That's as it stands now. But we have some on the council that want to increase that, rightfully so, as it's needed. There you have it, folks. I'm done. I'm out of here. Do me a favor. Tune in this Thursday, 8 o'clock. I have Annette Yarber joining me. She's running for District 2, City Council District 2. She actually gave me a shout out at Gino's Pizza. And no, they didn't pay me. No one pays me. I should start getting paid. But anyway, she went there for the first time because I mentioned it on the show. I'm supporting everybody, local businesses, and that's why I mentioned them. I want to see the businesses do good. So shout out to Annette for letting the guys know that she went there for the first time because I mentioned it on Basement Politics.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez. You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez. You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
Basement Politics with Freddie Vasquez. Join me Thursdays at 8, Sundays at 8, live. Catch a new episode of Fred Talk every week.
You're watching Basement Politics with my dad, Freddie Vasquez.
So long.